Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekend workout. So I wanted to switch it up again and show you something that we can do with our foam rollers. So if you have a full-size foam roller at home, it's a great tool for working on your mobility, doing some self-massage, but you can also use it as part of your workout. So we're going to do something a little bit different today where we're going to do a little bit of mobilizing and then some activating. So we're going to go through a minute of mobility for each of the exercises there on the right, and then we're going to go through a minute of activating, and then we're going to repeat that. So that's how we're going to go through our 30 minutes today. So let's get started with some mobilizing. So we're going to start with our upper back. So on your foam roller, you're going to have your hands above your head. You're going to lift your hips off the ground, and we're just going to roll 2 to 3 inches at a time here. Just trying to find some sore spots. So I just have my head just gently resting and slightly coming off the foam roller, and I'm just slowly moving down, trying to search out my traps, trying to search out the back of my shoulders. And if I find a sore spot, I'm just going to kind of hover over top of it. Now we're going to move on to our mid-back. So with the mid-back, now the foam roller is going to settle in just below your arms. So you're going to have your arms out to your side like this. And again, try and relax your neck. And you're just going to work your way down about 6 inches down the middle of your back. So this is working on your thoracic spine mobility. You'll notice if you're really tight through your chest cavity, that this will help with that as well. You can use your hands to help support and guide the foam roller. So if you're getting tired with your legs up in the air, you can use your hands to help support. So we're just going to continue there. And now we're going to move to our low back. So with the low back, we're going to have to be more careful. So you'll notice that I have my hands right across my chest here. My hips are a little lower, or they're even touching the ground at times just to relax. I'm going to keep my abs flexed a little bit. So you may notice a little bit of shaking there. And again, we're just searching out those sore spots. Back and forth. If you find a sore spot like I do right there, I'm just going to hover and just gently move over top of it. And so let's move into our glutes. So I'm going to face the camera here. So to work our glutes, we're going to sit on the foam roller. We're going to cross our one leg over top. And then the bottom leg, we're going to roll or lean to that side and just start rolling in there, finding the meat of your butt muscles. And let's switch sides. Same thing. So just into it. Foam rolling is a lot of just kind of self-discovery, a little bit of self-torture. You're trying to find those hard spots. So for the Piriformis, so that's another one of your hip rotators. You're going to keep your ankle crossed over top, but now that leg that's over top, you're going to lean towards it, and you're going to angle yourself and try and do some discovery. You're going to find most likely a real sharp spot, and it's going to really grab at you. Try and find that spot. And let's switch sides. Same thing. That spot for you. Almost all of us have it. Almost all of us are tight there. So this is a muscle that gets tight with too much sitting and not enough stretching. And it's the muscle that typically is causing sciatic pain. So if you deal with sciatic pain, this is the muscle that does it. So now we're going to get into our IT band. So for the IT band, we're going to be on our side into like a side plank, leg over top, and you're just going to roll on the side of your leg up and down. And so the way I like to do it is I like to start at my hip and then kind of move to the top half, then the middle, and then finish at the bottom. And let's switch sides. It's the same thing. So start at the hip, then move to the top half, then move to the middle, and then move to the bottom. Great job, everyone. So we're going to go into our quads next. So to do the quads, we're going to be in a low plank with the foam roller on the top half of your quads. So actually showing from the sides probably best here. And then you're just going to use your arms. So feet are floating. You're just going to use your arms to do the movement here. And again, I kind of start at the top half, and then you got to be kind of a little bit careful there. And then go to the middle half. And then for me, probably for you as well, the bottom half is really where the pain holds place. Good. And so we'll go into the groin next. So the groin's a little awkward. So you're going to have your one leg hovering over top. You're going to be on the ground like this. And then you're just going to roll in and out like that. I'll try and face the camera here. You might see it a little bit better. So in and out like that, just going up and down your groin muscles. For me, this is by far the worst one. It is pure torture. And let's switch sides. So this is a lot of pain for me. Barely can handle it, despite how calm my voice may be. And we're going to go into our hamstrings next. So hamstrings, cross one leg over the other. You're sitting on it, and then we're going to do the top half, so going towards your butt, then halfway down your leg, and then go to the bottom half. So going just above your knee to the middle of the meat. If you find this too extreme, you can uncross your legs. So let's cross the other side now. So you notice crossing your leg just puts a little bit more weight and a little bit more force into that bottom leg. And again, let's get the bottom half of that. Good. And let's finish with our calves. So the calves hovering above, and we're going to work the top half. So from just below the knee to where the meat of the muscle kind of thins out. And now let's get the bottom half. So going from the top of your shoe or your heel to the middle of your calf. You may need to take a little bit of a break because your arms are tired. So there is a little bit more work here. We are doing a bit of core and a little bit of upper body and even a little bit of lower body, just trying to massage ourselves out. Great job, everyone. All right, so that's our first mobility. So let's get into our activation side. So we're going to do overhead squats for a minute. With squats, we're in this workout, I'm really just trying to go nice and slow here. So feet out, more than hip width apart, toes pointed out slightly, hands over your head so you can barely see the foam roller. I'll get a little low. But it's staying over top of my head, and then I'm just going to squat down, come back up, squat down, come back up. So while I'm coming back up, I'm really focusing on flexing my abs, keeping the foam roller right over top of my head. And I'm pressing it into my basement ceiling each time I come up. Good. All right, so let's get into our second one. So that's rollouts. So this one's a good one for your core. So for this one, you're going to have your forearms on the foam roller, get into a plank, and you're going to roll the foam roller out and then come back in. So roll out, come back in. Roll out, come back in. So nice and gentle. We don't need to go really far. You don't need a full extension by any means. We're just trying to get a little bit of core activation here. And if you need to, take a break. If you find that too challenging, you can go from your knees and you can roll out from there instead. We're going for a minute on these with the instruction and everything. So again, we're just trying to get a little bit of movement in here and relax. The third one is a split squat. So you're going to use your foam roller to help balance you. Nice wide stance. And then we're going to lower ourselves using the foam roller to support and come back up. Lower, up, come back up. So this is a really good one for people who have hard time balancing throughout a lunge or a split squat. Or maybe they just don't quite have the strength. Let's switch sides. So maybe you just don't quite have the strength to do a lunge properly through your legs. You find it creates a bit of pain. Or you just fall off balance, or you just can't complete it properly, or can't lower very well. Great job. And the third one is a reverse crunch. So for this one, you're going to have your butt on the edge of the foam roller. You're going to lie back, so your head should be able to get on it as well. Use your hands to help support. Then we're going to lift our legs up and then lower our heels. So lift our heels up till our shins are parallel with the ground, then lower. Up, lower. Up, lower. So it's really working on our hip flexors and our core muscles, especially our abs and lower abs. So keep working on it. If you need a little bit more challenge, you can tense your fingers. So you just have your fingertips touching the ground. If that's too easy, go to your index finger and your thumb. If that's too easy, you can just go to your thumb. Great job. And our last one is leg curl. So lying on the ground, you're going to have your feet on the foam roller, lift your hips up, roll out, roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out, roll your hips up the whole time. And again, you can go nice and gentle here. You can go to a full extension if you want. It really just depends on your ability. We're not trying to kill ourselves portion. It's more just to keep ourselves active and kind of work off that massage. Great job, everyone. All right, so let's go back into our mobility. So I'm just going to change the camera angle so we can start with our upper back. So with the upper back, you're going to have the foam roller up just below your neck, hands over your head, and then you're just using your legs to do the movement. So just a few inches at a time. And so once you got that area, then you can kind of move down a few more inches and get the other half of your upper back. So right to the top or middle of your shoulder blades. Good, and we can go to mid-back now, so hands out at the side. And so you're going to go to roll to your elbows and then roll a few inches down. And we'll do that for 30 seconds, and then we'll get the other half of your mid-back for the other 30. Trying to relax your neck as much as you can. We have a lot of neck tension throughout the day. Let's get the other half of our mid-back. So starting where you finish, so right at the bottom of your shoulder blades. So we're getting fairly close to the low back, but we shouldn't be quite there yet. So this should be more still just mobilizing our thoracic spine. And we can go into our low back now. I'm just going to move back in the camera view. So for this one, keep the hips dipped a bit more, hands across the chest, and you can kind of sink into it using your core to help stabilize. And again, we're trying to find those sore spots, trying to find those spots where we need to do a bit more work on. And then the other half, we can go just above our hip joint. So you can see I'm actually having my hands on my legs just to help stabilize a little bit. So I'm just going to the top of my hips, and then 3-4 inches up. That's it. Good. And we'll get our glutes. So again, I'll stay lateral view. So crossing over, but going towards the lower leg, and just working the meat of the muscle. This one's usually fairly gentle. A lot of people don't find a lot of pain here. And switch sides. But all of us are different. Depends on where your sore spots are. Maybe you found the back stuff really, really bad, especially the upper back. A lot of people do. But sometimes the mid-back feels even worse. For me, what we're going to do next, so the Piriformis one, so that leg that's over top, we're going to lean towards that side. So this one's by far the worst one for me. This one and the groin are the two bad ones. And then number 3 would have to be the calves. Good. So find that sore spot and really work within that sore spot. And switch sides. So think back to our first round when we did this. How did the foam roller feel then? I can tell you it's a lot less painful for me on round 2. So I can tell that my muscles are getting warm. They're getting massaged out. A lot of those aches and pains, a lot of that stiffness is going away. All right, so IT band next. So side plank, leg over top, rolling towards the hip, and then moving towards the top half, then moving towards the middle, and then moving towards the bottom half. This is another one, especially if you're a runner or a cyclist. This one really grabs at people usually. And switching sides, same thing. So top half. Sorry, that was my hip. Now I'm in my top half. Now I'm moving towards my middle. Now I'm moving towards the bottom half. And this one's pretty sore for me today. It normally isn't, but I was running yesterday. And we're going to do our quads next. So in a low plank, foam roller right at the top of your quads, feet off the ground. Then slowly move it into the middle of your quads. If you find that sore spot, try and work within it. I have a couple here. And then move to the bottom half. Good. Let's get into our groin next. So foam rollers right above the knee on the inside. That leg moves up, and we're just going to roll in and out, so left and right, and just search for the sore spots. And unsurprisingly, I'm still extremely sore in this area. I'm a little bit better. I don't feel like I'm going to cry this time. And let's switch sides. So do the discovery. You can kind of work yourself all the way to your hip if you need to. I don't find near my hip is bad at all. So I'm staying closer to my knee and right in the middle of my groin. And hamstrings are next. So sitting on it, starting near our hips, feet up in the air. We can cross over top if we need that extra tension. And just using your hands to do the movement now. And you can kind of work your way down the hamstring. And switch sides if you haven't already. So for some people, up near the butt might be a little bit worse. For me, it's more, again, the middle and towards my knee where I feel the most discomfort. So I'm really, really working hard on that. And our last one is our calves. So If this is really easy for you, you can cross your feet over top. If you have me do that, I'm going to gain, so that's not going to be me. But I am better this round for sure. And I'm just going to take a quick break there. Arms are getting tired. And work our way to the bottom half. So heel to mid calf, so right where it kind of expands out and gets bigger. The heart of the gastroc muscle. A few more seconds. And we're good. So we're going to go back into the overhead squats. I have just changed the view of the camera so you can see them. So foam roller over our heads. Remember, a little bit wider than hip width stance. We're going slow on these. So it's not a race. We're not trying to get a hard workout in. We're just trying to get some movement, wake up our muscles. So after we did the rolling, we're mobilizing, we need to activate. So mobilize, then activate. So feel the difference. See if it feels different this time than it did on your first round. So go from a lateral view so you can see. So the foam roller staying right above my head, or I'm trying to anyways. It's coming a little bit forward and still a little bit tight in my right hip. And we'll go into the rollouts next. So I'll just drop this a bit. So with the rollouts, forearms on the foam roller into a plank position, and you're just rolling out a few inches, coming back in, roll out, come back in. So it's not a big movement here. And if you need to, take a break, or we can switch to knees on the ground for the last bit if you're really getting tired. A minute is a long time to do rollouts for. Good. We'll do split squats next. So using the foam roller to help support you, get into a nice wide stance, nice and tall, lower down, come back up. Use the foam roller to help support you, stay balanced. Only lower as much as you need to or are able to. So you may not be able to touch your knee to the ground or get above the ground. You may be doing a more limited motion. That's totally fine. Let's switch sides. Big thing I want is for us to stay tall and for us to use the foam roller as almost like a cane to help us support ourselves, keep balanced. And we're just trying to elongate and lower and deepen our split squat as much as we can. All right, we'll go into our third one. So these are the reverse crunches. So butt on the foam roller, lie back, have your head on it as well. Use your hands to help support. And then we're going to lift our heels so shins are parallel, then drop. Lift, drop. Lift, drop. While we're doing this, when you go to lift, try and press your spine into the foam roller. So you should feel your spine stay in contact with the foam roller the whole time. You shouldn't be arching your low back. So if you find your low back peeling off of this, then switch to one leg at a time. Make it easier. Or don't do the full up, just kind of come up a couple inches. And our last one is the leg curls. So feet on the foam roller, hips up, roll out, roll in, roll out, roll in. You can use your hands to support. If you find that too easy, you can go to your hands across your chest like this, or you can have your arms way up in the air if you need a little bit of even an extra challenge with balance. Again, you can roll all the way out and all the way in, or you can just do a smaller motion like this. It's up to you. Again, we're just trying to get some movement in with our legs, using our core to help support us. And this is our last 10 seconds of our workout. And we're done. So I hope you enjoyed the foam roller workout. It's a great piece of equipment for recovery day. If you're feeling sore, if you're feeling really tight, add in that mobility routine. I highly recommend doing a little bit of activation just to kind of work through the fluidity of your muscles and get that movement in. And you probably noticed when we went into round 2, the mobility got a little bit easier that way too. So you can foam roll for a minute each area. You can do 2, 3, 4 minutes if you really want. Usually what we recommend is that you foam roll until the soreness really goes away or it stops getting any better. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll continue to do these special workouts on Saturdays, and I'll see you next time.